Okay, we will now bring the workshop schedule. We will bring it open. At this point, the first item on the agenda is panhandling, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Fowle for more clarification about the ordinance that's already on the books that was passed 3 or 4 decades ago.
Yes, I think council has a brief summary of some of the ordinances that are on the books currently. These ordinances can all be amended. My suggestion is we probably start from scratch on an ordinance. I want to hear tonight what council would like to have in an ordinance that deals with panhandling. These are, as he stated, these ordinances have been on the books for several years. It talks about soliciting money, requiring a permit. I think that's something tonight that you all may have some interest in doing. There certainly are ways we can draft an ordinance that would require somebody to get a permit. And it would be a permit, you have to determine what the length of the permit will be for, what the cost of the permit is, if you're gonna ask somebody to pay for a permit. It talks about begging. I mean, that's what we, I think, consider goes on. And begging technically is, according to our code, illegal. But you cannot stop begging. I'll just tell you right now, there's no way you're going to totally prevent what you're hoping to control. Tonight, you all may, or this afternoon, may want to discuss putting signs up. This may be a good time to see what you all would like, what content you would like on signs, discouraging people from giving money to those who are standing on the sidewalks. We want to try to regulate that. It's illegal to block a sidewalk, and but it is not illegal for somebody to stand there if they're not doing anything wrong. I know everybody would like to totally control it. There is no way to totally control it. Every city in the state has tried to address this. There are different solutions that are coming down from different cities. None of them have reported that they're totally able to eliminate panhandling in their cities. This is an effort tonight to get an ordinance on the books that will work, that the police chief and his staff will be willing to and able to enforce. You are not going to put somebody in jail for panhandling. That simply is not going to occur. And we're not going to attempt to do that. There is the ability to fine somebody. You have to recognize whether or not that individual has the ability or will have the ability to pay the fine. You can spend a lot of time and effort trying to get these people, these individuals off the street who are currently doing this activity. But we have to also consider the manpower we have. There's a limit to the amount of time the police department can spend on this. They're trying now to regulate it. The chief and state what they're doing. I understand you all are trying to make contact with the individuals.
We are making contact with them, and we are offering assistance through our peer. Other than that, they'll come right back 10-15 minutes after they get ran off. And sometimes you take their signs from them, and now they're writing on their jackets. They're writing their message.
Sure. And even if they keep coming back, you do not arrest them. That is when the city will have some real serious issues if you start arresting somebody, or the jails are not set up to address this issue. We're not going to attempt to put somebody in jail. That just simply is not the solution. So tonight, this afternoon is the beginning of an effort to see what council wants and to see if we can craft an ordinance that will certainly reduce some of what we all see on the sidewalks. And there's already a law that will stop somebody from physically harassing an individual on the sidewalk. We're talking about people standing there with signs asking for money. They may say they're a disabled veteran or they're out of work, looking for work. They're simply requesting money. And there is a limit to what can be done there. But I think Mr. Gerald and I and all of you want to see what we can come up with, what you all recommend, and then we will put an ordinance together to see if that meets what council wants to have occur. There's no perfect solution, but we're willing to to try to put together what you all feel would be the best way to approach it. And I think starting anew, we can remove and we can have these ordinances that are currently on the book, we can have these either modified or repealed. That's not an issue. I think it would be best to start anew and have an ordinance that deals with this. So I don't know if that helps you at all, but that's kind of where we are.
Mr. Fowle, real quick, is it legal panhandling legal in the state of West Virginia, or is that a federal law? Because you don't seem to see it when you go to South Carolina or North Carolina or even Virginia. You don't see. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in all three of those states, and I don't ever remember seeing, and especially not to the extent we have here.
It's not federal.
It's a state.
It would basically be a state, but it's primarily a municipal issue. It's regulating the sidewalks and the activity that occurs on a sidewalk in a city. And it's not a federal issue unless it's on federal property, then it would become a federal issue, but that's not an issue in Beckley.
But I mean, could the state of West Virginia make it illegal from a state level?
They can attempt to, but there's a limit. So long as people are not, they cannot just rule that people cannot stand on a sidewalk. State of West Virginia can't do that.
Right.
You have to look at the Constitution. The First Amendment permits people, they give them the right to speak. We cannot violate the rights that individuals have. And so long as they're not bothering anyone physically or threatening or causing danger either to themselves or to the public, and that includes those driving vehicles or those walking on sidewalks.
Yeah.
Now we can adopt something that can make it illegal for someone to pass money from the vehicle to an individual. But these are individuals that sit there and you feel stressed, you feel pressure when you sit there and you have an individual looking at you. You're at a stoplight. I'm sure some of the people that give money don't do it because they want to. It's that they feel pressure to do it. I don't know that anybody wants to punish those people who are trying to help somebody. But yeah, I want to hear if you all want to go the route of requiring people to get a permit. We'll have to determine who issues the permit. It's something that the permit probably would. It may be a permit that you require somebody to provide identification before they're given a permit.
Yeah.
You can regulate the number of times that individual is going to be entitled to get a permit during a period of time, and you can limit the amount of time the permit will last. They don't get one permit for a year and be able to stand on a corner for a solid year. These are all things that cities have tried various ways to control it. There is no city in West Virginia that has it under control. I know that for a fact, and you all travel throughout the state. You're going to see it. You're going to see it in Charleston. You're going to see it in Huntington, Barbersville, any city that has activity, and especially if there's a major road flowing through there, you're going to see people asking for money. I know it happens on Johnstown Road, the corner of Johnstown Road and South Kanawha Street. It obviously happens on West Neville Street across from Sheets. Those are two of the probably most prolific corners that we have where this is occurring. We can make an effort to regulate it. There's nothing perfect, and we want to hear what you all think, how you would like to try to address it. And we will put together an ordinance based on what you all recommend and see if we can craft one that will not be violating somebody's rights.
Yeah. Just my 2 cents real quick since I was talking. I'm sure everybody wants to speak on this. I would not want, as much as I cannot stand the congestion on the roads and the dangerous situation it presents when the light turns green and everybody starts moving and the 7th car comes to an abrupt stop and the 8th, 9th, and 10th car about smash into them. The last thing me personally I would want us to do or council for you to vote is to fine people for giving them money, I think that's up to you. You know, if it's your money, if you want to give it to strangers, that's on you. If a lot of you all are like me, if the government tells you to do something, what's the first thing you want to do? The exact opposite. So I don't like people telling me what to do. I would not want to put a law that says if you stop and give somebody money, we're going to fine, you could be fined. I think the bigger thing is, just my thinking is, like the sign that right here that, and I guess you can't say panhandling not permitted, but Mr. Gerald and I real quick met with Captain Liz at Salvation Army last week, and we started talking about this, donating a safer way and putting those at these intersections and star 211. So
Yeah.
if you do, that number is already active, and if you call that number, somebody will answer, and you do have the ability to give money to them. But the point I wanted to make to Captain Liz, because really it goes to the United Way, and then I think it's super crucial, and I just think for myself, super important that if I'm at that stop sign and I see that sign and I see somebody panhandling and I call that number 211 and somebody says, yes, if you donate $10, that money will go to the local Salvation Army and help provide meals for people that are hungry.
Yeah.
If it just gets lost in their general budget and just piled on top of United Way's money, I don't think it'll be nearly as effective, and I think it'll go nowhere. There's no point in putting up the sign. That's just my opinion. But if you can tell, because the difference is we could get that out to the media, we could get that out on social media, to say, hey, the city of Beckley's put these signs up, donate in a separate way. Every dollar you give will immediately go to help provide meals at the Salvation Army for people that can go in there that maybe don't have anything to eat and things like that. But if you put the sign up and the money, nobody can track where the money goes exactly. To me, what's the point of putting the sign up? But that's just but I love the idea of doing that.
I did,
So-
when Trina Daisel came and spoke about it to us, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago or something. I thought that was a really good idea too, of putting that sign up in these high traffic areas, you know.
But what do you all think about, if the money just goes to the United Way and,
No, I agree.
it's just piled on with the rest of their money, is that going to be, is it going to be as effective? Will people, would it curb people giving money to panhandlers at all?
For sure.
I think.
I don't know. I don't know if it would.
Ryan, Mayor, when
Yeah.
Trina spoke, she talked about the city of Ashley, Kentucky, saw remarkable effectiveness when the signs went up. There's a better way to give. And I think that locally, our United Way is under the umbrella. There are 37 nonprofits under the umbrella of the United Way of Southern West Virginia. And all of those nonprofits are all vetted. But the 211 is a special thing. Marcia Schonk does that. And I think that are we not allowed to have panhandling not permitted? Is that a legal?
Well, what you can
I
do,
mean-
basically, within your packet,
yeah.
I'll give you the current Beckley codes, I'll also give you the state code, I'll also give you the county code, I'll also give you, just for informational purposes, Wheeling's ordinance. And also, I looked up a couple other cities yesterday, like City of Charleston. City of Charleston's looking to adopt Wheeling's. So that's the reason I give you Wheeling's ordinance also in there. But as far as the signs, I printed those off just for recommendations. There's different signs behind there. I would certainly entertain the idea of putting, give to local charities, dial 211, or, here's a sign that says panhandling, say no to panhandling, contribute to
I
the
love that.
solution, give to local charities, dial 211. So that's a different sign than some. You can also have a sign that says
Yeah, I like that one.
permit required, and panhandling is not safe, change the way you give, call 211 to help. So there's different signs that I printed off for you all to look at
Very
and for
good.
your recommendation. Now, as far as the county, and me and the chief of police, we talked about this several times. How you gonna enforce it, and the training of the officers to enforce it. Also, you have to, and I also give you these questionnaires for yourself. This is questions you need to ask yourself. Should all types of solicitation, personal, charitable, political, be treated equally? So if you think about it, you got the Salvation Army, like we was down talking to Liz. Does that constitute getting a permit when they're out here bell ringing? Does Little League when they're out here collecting monies? Does that constitute getting a permit?
Well,
So we have to look at this in a very stringent way
there's one big difference between the Salvation Army doing it and
as
people on the street.
501c3. So are you
Well,
going?
not that even. The difference is the Salvation Army gets permission from the stores, Walmart, Crossroads
Yes.
Mall. So you could put that if they have permission from that store.
Particular store owner?
Sorry, Sherry.
Yeah. I
If you-
understand
You
that, but
wouldn't have to
still
have a
yet.
permit if you have permission, written
Yeah.
permission from Crossroads Mall.
But you also have to put that in the ordinance if
Yeah,
you
right,
create
that's what I
one.
mean. We could do
You
that,
see what
though.
I'm saying? So those are suggestions.
Right.
I'm just saying
Right.
that we have to treat 501c3s differently or charitable organizations differently than we do panhandling. That's all I'm saying.
So if you had permission from Crossroads Mall, written permission to do it, it can be
Well,
easy
it's-
to put that you
well,
don't need to.
really, it's
file for-
private property,
I was gonna
correct?
say it's
Well, that's what I
private
mean, so
property.
you wouldn't have to file for a
Right,
permit. The
right.
difference is these people are standing on the streets.
The only
Yes.
time I think it would affect that would be like right there at Golden Corral. I know you see a bunch, it seems like during the summer, I don't know if it's Southwest or somewhere, a bunch of cheerleaders, it seems like, and literally, they, right there, that's the problem you'd have to worry about,
they
which,
would have-
And Chick-fil-A,
Exactly.
Chick-fil-A is another example. Chick-fil-A, they get close to the highway
Which, I mean,
and they're
in
washing cars
my
at the
personal
Chick-fil-A.
opinion, they don't
so-
need to be there, and especially like Advance, on Raglan Road a lot on the weekends, and I mean, for the car wash, you got little kids crossing those roads, and like, that doesn't need to happen, but I don't think we'd have a problem with an ordinance if they're in front of Walmart tagging or whatever,
Right.
because it's private
If they got
property.
permission from the
But-
storefront,
Yeah, but-
Kroger, or whoever.
I wouldn't want my elementary age kid out there tagging or, at a stoplight on the intersection in the first place, but that'd be the only time I would see that being a contradiction, but I mean, at that point, I guess if you're doing the permit, which, one question I have, Mr. File, what, have you talked to the county? What is their plan? I mean, because if you read it, they get 2 permits in 6 months, and then they start the fining. What happens? I mean, if they're not going to take them to jail, I mean, it's,
That's the
an
problem.
issue.
yeah.
And they said they wasn't gonna take them to jail. They don't want the expense of taking them to jail first and foremost.
So, I mean, I understand, like, getting the permit and all that, but, I mean, at some point, what are you going to do to make it effective? That's just, you're throwing out a piece of paper at that point.
Right.
We
You-
got to find a way to make
You've
it
got to
effective.
change the mentality of the people that give them the money.
So do you say
Alright.
panhandling is not safe, or are you more demonstrative to say no panhandling? I mean, so if
Well,
the
there's a sign.
soliciting or panhandling not permitted,
Yeah, I'm looking
I mean,
like,
we
I like
could-
the sign that says panhandling, say no to panhandling.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
That's the one I like.
That's not saying it's illegal,
Right,
but
that's
it's
the one I-
encouraged, right.
that's the one I
Well,
like.
it's got the perfect word on it. Contribute to the solution.
Solution.
The solution.
And then under there, instead of, like, where it says give to local charities,
Just
we could
call
customize it.
211.
You put
Yeah.
call 222.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll modify.
That's what
it.
we'll
These are
want.
just samples.
Yeah, those are
Exactly.
great.
Those are just samples. All I'm saying is, if you're gonna treat these 501c3s and other charitable organizations differently than you are panhandling, that needs to be in the ordinance that you adopt. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Um,
Go ahead, Jim.
Mr. Gerald, how, is that listed in the county's ordinance for panhandling?
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
know?
You got the county ordinance right
Is the
there?
county here too?
Yes, ma'am, it's in there.
Which one?
I
I
think it's
had read
yellow
over it,
tab.
but I had forgotten.
Yes, ma'am, I give you,
Yellow
I
tab.
give you all those.
Yeah, I think
What are you looking for in it?
that there needs to be some type of comparison that we correlate.
Well, the county
with what the
ordinance,
county is
basically, their permit is free. You have to have an ID and a photo. And from what the lady said at Salvation Army, they will take you and get you that information if you don't have a photo. So there are several things in here. I think they give you 2 warnings, and the third warning is a $100 fine, and
It should be your second tab.
Yeah, it's a green tab, I believe.
Well, mine's
no,
yellow.
yeah, they're all different colors.
Oh, okay, you done
Second tab.
confused me. You know I'm
Sorry.
getting old.
We're all different colors.
But I put all that information in there for your review, and
What was
And
you
a
asking
permit.
exactly?
they
I
come
had
to
read
their,
it, but I had forgotten. I had read
now,
it previous,
if you
but I
write
had-
an ordinance that has to do with a permit,
Okay, yeah. I see.
myself and the chief both agreed that permit be issued at the police department.
Yeah.
Okay, instead of here. We usually issue the permits here. So that panhandling permit, if you want to do an ordinance with a permit required, then that's fine and dandy, but I think that the permit needs to be gotten at the police department so they have a photo ID, and then that way they know that those people actually has a permit for that particular location. And I would certainly not let 2 or 3 people at one location, so I would reserve that, you know. But like I said, I'm trying to provide you with the information so you can do a very
Yeah,
informative
appreciate it.
decision here. That's all I'm doing.
My question is this, or suggestion in a roundabout way. You know, you talk about these panhandlers, they probably average on a good day $100 a day or more.
Oh, that's
Way more.
low
More.
number.
Way more.
I say $100
Yeah.
or more,
Right.
but, and you say you're gonna fine them. Now, we know they got the money, and you enforce the fine, and they don't pay the fine, what's gonna happen then?
Then they
get
can't get a
another
permit anymore.
Okay, can't get no more, okay. but still, we
That's
know
the
they
way
gonna
I
go
look at
right
it.
Back after, so you gonna take a picture of this person? And if you
That's
can't
what I'm
do it-
saying. That's the reason I wrote the questions. How are you going to enforce it? That's the main thing, is how you going to enforce this ordinance. I can write an ordinance every day,
Right, I
but
understand that.
to get it enforced is a totally different
I understand what you're
animal. And myself and the chief has talked, and what did you all do before? When we just had the city code where it was 13 that soliciting money and stuff, y'all actually just took all their money, didn't you?
Seized their money at that time, and let the city judge figure out where that went, whether it was a fine or you get it back, it was up to the judge.
So they actually, years ago, when they enforced it, they actually went to the panhandler, said, empty your pockets, we taking all your money, and then they take it, put it as evidence, take it to the municipal court, and then the judge fines them. And if they got more than the $100 fine, then they get their money back. Now, that's the way it was enforced.
I like it.
I knew a contractor went to one down by Golden Corral a couple of years ago, and he had the sign, we'll looking for work or whatever, and he said, I got a contracting company, why don't you get in the truck, I'll take you, and you can go work for me, and I'll give you, I think he said like $15 or something like that an hour. He said, oh, sir, why would I do that when I can make 50? He was saying he was making $50 an hour on average down there at the stoplight at Golden
These
Corral.
people have thousands of dollars on them that they've got back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
So,
Well, I'm like what the mayor said a long time ago, just don't give them no money.
And then when you have the signs there, the signs are saying,
That's a deterrent.
panhandling, say no to panhandling, people, there's a sign there, and they've got a sign, and it says, there's a better way to give, maybe they're gonna say, I'm not gonna stay here all this time, I'm not gonna.
And that's what
maybe
you
they'll-
want.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, so,
right.
and then again, you know, if you require them to get a permit, you're not telling them they can't panhandle. If all you're telling them is, hey, you gotta have a permit to panhandle. So you're not, to me, you're not discriminating against their rights. It's the same way as having a yard sale. You have to come and get a permit.
right.
So I don't know what the difference is between that and getting a permit for a yard sale. So it is what it is.
Anybody else?
I make more money doing that than I make at yard sales.
How quick can we get those signs made up?
I'll give them.
I know Trina's all on
Okay,
board. I
what
know
I'll
Pamela
do,
is.
what I'll do is go home tonight and draft one up that you might like.
I think this one's good.
I don't, does everybody else agree they like this one? I mean,
Now,
and just change, like Cody said, get rid of give
now
to
those
local
signs, are
charities.
they the kind that you can peel the stuff off?
Dial
Call
211.
211.
Dial 211.
Okay.
Mark?
Let me, which one you like?
This is contribute to.
Say no to panhandling, contribute
what
to the
everybody-
solution, call 211?
Yeah, instead of the bottom line, give to
Instead of-
local charities, dial 211.
Dial, leave it all the same way except dial 211. Okay, I can do that.
Some intersections
Me and Mike will work it out.
shouldn't be allowed at all, like Bird and Eisenhower.
Look,
We're going out in the middle of that intersection.
We-
Those intersections shouldn't be allowed at all.
That man who
we-
panhandles behind Advance is going to.
They're
get hit by a
dangerous
car.
intersections.
He is. He's
They're,
gonna-
they're,
He's gonna get hit by a car.
I agree with the chief. We had an accident the other night where a gentleman got run over right out there in front of Arby's.
He wasn't panhandling.
But
No,
still,
he
it's a
wasn't
dangerous-
panhandling. He
it
was,
shows
he
it's
was
a
just
dangerous
walking
situation.
across the road. And we also had a lady,
Before he was.
I don't know how long ago was it? She got killed right there in front of Sheets.
It's been a while.
A few weeks ago.
Okay, and then I saw another accident down on a bicycle, right? So it's a dangerous intersection right down there. I mean, yeah. So there's some intersections you might want to classify as a dangerous intersection to that point.
Just do it, yeah.
Okay.
We don't need to, just do it.
We'll make
Yeah,
a difference.
Frank, go ahead,
We'll
Frank.
make a different sign for that. I just want, I just want everybody to be safe and
Yeah.
Now,
Go ahead,
some of
Frank.
these, some of these people have been bussed in. Do we know where this bus is coming from, or the people that's driving them? or do-
no, if you,
But if they have to have a
No, what I'm
permit from
saying
the
is,
city, right?
They get on the bus, you see 2 or 3 people get on that bus. You got to follow that bus and see where that bus going. So they operating out somewhere, some building or somewhere around here.
you talking about a van or a bus?
It's a bus that comes over by a chick right down from Chick-fil-A. It's a bus that's picking them people up.
I watched
Now,
a
that
husband
bus
and
is
wife
going
get on the
somewhere.
bus in Kroger's parking lot.
So that bus is going somewhere. Have we looked at, see where that bus is going?
A couple of years ago, there was a guy that was driving a van, dropping them off. He'd start right there at the Crossroads Mall at the interstate. He was coming from Oak Hill, and he would drop them off, and that was his little business. He would charge them so much a day, and he'd pick them up in Oak Hill, and he'd bring them over here and drop them off. What was that ice cream place that was right there by Golden Corral? Yeah, when that was there, when I was in college, there was a girl that worked there, and she said at night they would come over and have like $100 bills, $50 bills and stuff, and ask them for smaller bill of change, and then they would sit underneath there, and then that guy would come in and pick them up in the van and leave.
But that
Well,
van got to
we
be
might,
going somewhere.
we might have a cure for that. I might have a suggestion for that. I'll speak with y'all.
Man, I mean, that's the
I might
problem,
have it.
is those situations. I mean, if somebody's down on their luck and they're broke down on the side of the road, I mean, I'm more than willing to stop and help out. I mean, I've stopped and helped people change tires, gave them money or whatever, but when you have the same exact people every day sitting out there, and then, I mean, there's that one guy, he sits right there at the CVS coming onto Raglan Road. He stands there, and he will literally walk across and go between the vehicles with the sign and put his head in your window looking like that. Those are the
That's
kinds of
aggressive.
people. I mean, yeah, I mean, if it,
Very aggressive.
yeah, those are the ones that we need to try to limit and control.
So you want to start with the signs?
I'd say put the signs up and
Okay.
we can get out in
And
front
the
of the
dang-
media and talk about.
Chief,
We need to have.
Right, and
and
get
we'll
the
get
word out
together
to quick-
tomorrow morning and decide which intersections are dangerous. Okay? Myself and you and Deputy Chief Allard possibly.
I mean, does
I
everyone in
don't-
council agree that
I don't
it's a
want people
problem?
hurt.
Is that, am I the only one that I hear about it all day from 1,000 people a day?
And it's,
I
and
went in the store yesterday just as a customer, and the guy couldn't help. I paid, and I was walking out, and I know the guy. It was Gary Bullock, and on the way out, he was ringing me. Man, when y'all gonna do something about all these panhandles and all these people walking down? I was like, golly, can I just?
And
I'll just get through my day.
And it's not just in town. I mean, I go through Beaver every morning. The Sheets and Beaver's getting off
Yeah.
down there. They come out with their backpacks and they start spreading out, and they're setting up at the stoplight down in Beaver and everything. I mean, it's all over the
For a
place.
long time, there were guys there at the intersection below Crossroads Mall pretending to be a bucket brigade, like they had their booths out like they were collecting for a fire department, they finally got caught. I had given them money, you know, I mean, a local fire department for kids program, and they had no permit.
Yeah.
So
So
now
what-
they need to
We'll start with this,
And,
beg your
and
pardon?
start with the permit. If you're out, you know, if you're on public, maybe that's just my suggestion. If you're out on private property, you have permission, you wouldn't have to, like Captain Liz at Salvation Army.
So-
If they got permission from Kroger and Crossers Mall, they would not have to
Okay.
get a permit.
All right, number,
It's not on private property.
But if you're on the public sidewalks, you do have
You
to
have
get
to
a
have a
permit.
permit.
That's just a
I
suggestion.
mean, that's just.
That's up to
okay,
you
so,
all.
I
so,
think that together with
so a
the
permit,
signage-
what's the fee?
$100.
For a permit?
You're asking me.
Did it work when they emptied their
What's-
pockets? Did it work when they emptied their pockets?
Yeah.
And you took,
I don't
no?
remember seeing that.
You thought it?
We didn't have any.
Well, there's no sense in out there collecting it if somebody's gonna take it.
Yeah.
We could, wonder if that's something we could do,
I think you ought to take
if there is a collection or whatever, and we can put it in the ordinance where it goes to like United Way or something, but that'd be kinda hard.
We can't just take
I guess
Oh,
we
you just
had
can't
to.
take her money now.
Bill Files
It
like,
got-
you can't just take the money.
we
I do think we need to have a
old
permit.
days.
Okay, do you want a fee of $10?
I don't recommend it.
Too many phones.
A fee of $10?
A fee of $10.
Is that satisfactory for everybody?
What do the other,
That's really
other,
nice. See, that's what I
Zero.
was looking
Are
at
you talking about
for
which
the
ordinance?
county,
the permit?
of
The
how
permit for
many
Raleigh
people
County,
they can
zero.
Right.
I
Or
think
we
that
could be
need
more
to be-
Oh, there's $5 for a
Than the
yard
county,
sale.
and
Yeah.
Maybe they would
You gotta pay
migrate.
$5 for a yard
get.
sale.
County can
Exactly,
deal with it.
exactly.
I say let's one up.
That's
Back
what
to
I
the
was
county
trying to
seat, I
get
think that we need
you all
be
to look at.
unison with the county
It's gonna be
commission.
scattered.
I mean, 'cause we have, I mean, that's how I feel.
I think
We
we,
have these donut
I think we ought to
holes.
be stricter than what the county has, so that maybe they,
You wouldn't make them go to the county. This is what you're saying.
Yeah, put it to, give it to the county.
and listen, we could sit here all night and tell,
I
I
know.
could sit here for 2 hours and tell stories of things I've seen, people witness,
Yeah.
and getting in cars and driving to Woodcrest, walking up to, I'm not gonna say the establishment, but taking all their money they collected for the last 2 hours and playing a video lottery with it. I mean, we've all heard these stories all the time. I know there's people that need, but we have the Salvation Army that they're more than willing to help. Seed sowers, programs like that are willing to help people that want to be helped. But, you know, if we want to clean up Beckley, we want Beckley to be, I had to do the State of the City address today, and I was going to say, I'm going to talk this way for a minute. Is, you know, people are like, when I took questions, they're like, well, how do we get more businesses uptown? I was like, well, I'd just say you can either have it the way it is with people walking the trails that openly do drugs, and you can have the panhandlers on every corner, or we can try to put an end to it because people avoid uptown Beckley. They just do. So what business owner is one of, you know, how many businesses have went out of business uptown? If we want Beckley, I think the first step is to create a safe environment where people want to go. You know, I know we come up for chili night and things like that, but, you know, we don't really have that much more uptown to offer. But I'd like to see a lot of stuff uptown. But, you know, I think people avoid it because of, you know, why would I want to put some uptown? Anybody else?
I have a question about someone that called me this week, and he had spoken to Mayor Rappole. I don't guess he's reached out to us yet, except for me. And he is across the street. He has an insurance agent across from the Salvation Army.
Yes, I've talked to him.
Yeah, and there ought to be something we can do to help him out, because that's a sad situation. I mean, his employees are scared to go to their cars some evenings because of these people hanging around. They're defecating, they're sleeping there sometimes. You know, we should be protecting our businesses, because that's another one that might decide to leave.
True.
And you can't blame them at that point.
Anyone else?
So back to the permit. Is there a fee you want to
$10.
charge?
Wow. $10, $10, $20?
We can start
We
there and
can't,
see
we
where it
can't
goes.
vote on it, but I'm just gonna,
Right, but-
we're gonna recommend that in
Let's
the
just start there and
ordinance.
see where it goes.
So
Probably
you're
should be
saying
in
make
line with
the
other fees
permits-
charged, I would think.
So what's a yard sale?
$5.
All right, There you go.
All right, $5.
Very good, Mr. Fowler.
$10 isn't gonna be a problem. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, if they're collecting that kind of money, $10 is not gonna be a problem.
Frank says 50.
Okay, so what you all are saying is making the permit for the municipality stricter than the county.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
That's just one strategy.
County's free. We're gonna charge.
Frank, you say 50?
Yeah, is it a one-day permit?
Yes,
One-day permit.
yes. 1 day permit, 1 day permit for $5. You gotta have a photo ID. If you don't have a photo ID, don't come in. You can go to the Salvation Army and they'll take you and get your photo ID, okay? We will assist these people any way we possibly can.
Right.
If they want to get home and they're stranded in Beckley, West Virginia, I'll give them a ticket. Some way or another, I'll get them a ticket back home. You know, I'll say that out verbally.
I hear what you're saying, because I know this lady, matter of fact, she's worked for the city. She be out in the street. We have given her a ticket to go back home. She go down and then she come right back. But giving a person help to get home is different than the panhandler. It's totally two different
Yeah.
things.
I absolutely agree with
And
you.
I think the panhandling is, defined, if they making that kind of money, $5 or $10 is, I'll pay that to make that kind of money. I think it should be about $50.
Is it a day, they have to get a permit daily?
Yes, ma'am.
But in the county, you're only allowed 2 permits.
In the county, you're only allowed 2 permits in a 6-month period.
Well, if y'all wanna have better, more teeth, I don't care about 50. I mean, if y'all think it's gonna help.
I didn't hear what she said.
She said she agrees with Frank, $50.
Well, let's face it, $10 don't buy you a whole lot nowadays. $10 won't even pay for their
Do they have to
time
pay B&O
issuing
tax
a
under
permit.
collections?
You see,
What do you think, chief? What do you think?
What do you recommend?
Yeah. Sorry to put you in the hot
Suggest.
he don't want to give them a
I'm sorry,
permit,
you don't have
period.
to answer that question.
What do you
don't have to.
suggest?
Janine, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm just here thinking, trying to think if $50, if we want to go, because we can always amend it. We don't have to go that steep for right now. We can always
If
amend.
they're making that kind of money, why wouldn't we?
Especially at Christmas. I mean, people are gonna be.
Well, that's just my advice. I'm just saying we could amend it
taking
at any
notes?
time. I just don't think
We'll have to take
that
notes.
we should do $50
Where
right
do
now.
the people get the permits?
They'll get them at the police station.
They come to the police station to get them?
Yes, ma'am.
A business license is $15.
15 in the city.
A business
And-
license is 50?
And-
Yes, ma'am.
Business
mean-
license is
So you
$15.
want to start at 15?
Okay,
If a business license is $15.
$15. Start at 15, Bill. Susan, $15. Put that in your notes, please.
Okay,
And the
anything else?
permit-
Wait a
for
minute,
one
I'm
day.
sorry. What did,
Let me get this straight.
Change is hard.
what did Mr.
Please,
Morgan, what did you
please.
just say?
These are just suggestions.
These are,
You had what?
okay,
10 or 20,
okay.
in other words.
Yeah.
Okay, Captain Morgan says that it's hard to make change. Business license is 15, so do we wanna go 10 or do we wanna go 20?
Just
I
make it,
don't know.
just make it 15.
I just want it to be enforceable.
Well, they don't have any overhead like a business.
Could you make the decision?
I know.
Okay.
What is it?
10, 15, 20, who
They
cares?
gotta give us so much to make.
15. Y'all convince me, go 15.
All right, we ready to move on? Anybody else have any?
Yes.
Okay,
Again, it can be amended at any time.
right.
So how
Thank
much
you,
is it?
Janine. All right, next up is land.
Let me say one thing.
Sure.
You all, these are just recommendations you're
Sure.
putting out.
Right, right.
Yes.
You all are not making any decisions.
No,
Just
no,
suggestions
we're just
for the future
future ordinance.
city council agenda.
Yes.
We'll craft an ordinance and then come back and have you all take a look at it.
Thank you, Mr. Fowle. All right, moving on. Land Reuse Agency, I'll turn it over to Mr. Gerald for more on that.
Okay. Land reuse, we started back in May, and we've made a couple modifications to it since then. The original, I think, maybe had 5 members in it, and we went to 7. And, or it could have had 7, and I changed the nomenclature of it. But anyway, on the second page, nothing else has been changed. On the second page, and we did table the first ordinance, so we would have to reread this as the first ordinance, okay? And we'll also have to put names within this ordinance. There's 2 members of the city council appointed by the council. The third member would be code enforcement director or his or her designee. The fourth one is the recorder treasurer or his or her designee. And 1 member of the general public who is a resident of Beckley appointed by the city manager who must maintain membership with a recognized civic organization. The 6th one is 1 member of the general public appointed by the city manager who shall have expertise in the development and management of commercial real estate or use of public lands, such as an engineer or so forth. And 1 member of the development authority that encourages and supports initiatives that increase economic development. I have some members that has requested to be on this committee, as far as the public. The number 7 member has not, so we can remove that and make it another council member, or we can leave that as what it is. So if you want somebody like from economic development organization, we can put them in there. And I have a couple ideas, so.
What names of the people on council do you have now?
Yes, you all pick amongst yourselves and see who's interested in being on this committee. Then you appoint two members, and that's who gets this.
But you could put a third there. is
I
what
can
you're
I can
saying.
remove number 7 and make it 3 council members if that's what you want to do.
And
But there's no decisions that can be made because Mr. Fowle said there can't.
keep in mind, the state law permits up to 11 members, so it can be increased in size or it can be reduced down. What Mr. Gerald has pointed out is a starting point, a recommendation. If you all feel that it should be enlarged, it can be enlarged up to 11 members. It just has to be an odd number. And it can be reduced down to 5 if that was your choice. I don't think that would happen. But it's not easy to find people who are willing to give the time that this will take.
Sure.
It's not easy finding people within real estate or that type of business development because they want to buy the property they're going to be voting on selling. And I told them, no, they can't be doing that. In other words, they'll tell you how to sell your piece of property and then come back and buy it. So,
And what Mr. Gerald has suggested is that he would leave it up to you all to determine among yourselves, if you wanted, which council member or members
Okay, who wants to be on the board?
want to serve.
I will serve on that.
I have already sent him an email requesting to be a part of the committee or on the board.
3.
I have
Kip?
talked to Mr. Fowl about that.
I know Mr. Williams asked to be on it. I know Janine. has
Janine, Mr.
Natalie,
Williams,
and Sherry.
Natalie,
asked. Sherry
and Sherry.
Natalie. I know that's 4. It's up to you all. And we're not gonna state one can and one cannot. If we put 4 on, then we would need to increase by 2. The recommended size, it would take it up to 9, which is well within
yeah.
the limit of 11. So, if that's your all's
Seems easy enough.
suggestion, we can certainly
If you all want
do
to do
that.
it. Or we could vote one off. I'm just kidding. I'm just looking your direction.
You're gonna think one off.
Yeah, it just seems the easiest.
Well, it has to be an odd number, so.
Right, so you'd have to add 2 more, and just, if you got 4 interested, it just seems the easiest thing to do. Just take it to 9.
So if we add 2 more members, that would be 9, so that'd be an odd number. So I don't have a problem with that. Can I say that? Can I say make that 4 instead of 2?
We can,
Is it your recommendation to make that, well,
We can't
I
say.
don't know how to word this,
we
other
will
than,
come back with an amended ordinance.
I tell you what, we'll come back with an amended ordinance to make it 4, okay? Jeez.
Done.
You all can
Done.
decide at that time.
Does anybody from council have any questions about the LRA?
Frank's asking.
Let me ask you a question now.
Sure.
On that, you can't have 4 council people in, that's a sunset rule?
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, we can have
I think
4.
in this instance, and I'll
a good
make
point.
sure, but I think you can, can't have 4, you could have actually, I think 7.
Say it again?
I think,
Seven?
It'd be no different than parking
I mean-
commission, correct?
You don't get paid for this one, do you?
no, there's no pay for this.
I mean, we're all parking commission, so it shouldn't be different, should it?
No.
Probably not.
I know what you're asking, Frank, we'll double check that. It's a great question.
That's the only one.
I know you're thinking that could commit, or could be a meeting. Let me point out, these meetings that will be held by this group, are under the State Ethics Act. They will be, conducted publicly. There will be notice given as it is with a city council meeting. So, you know, having 4 members of council, that isn't gonna change anything because it's still gonna be a meeting that's properly noticed with an agenda.
Even though it's a separate entity?
Well, we're
No,
all
no.
on parking commission, right?
What are you referring to? The law requires that.
Well, it'd be like the sanitation board, wouldn't it?
Right, I mean, you're required to, these type of meetings have to be done publicly. It's
Because
all
they got their
public.
FEIN number, and they
So
also
the
have their own
sunshine
checking
might not
account and
apply if
everything.
It has to be done publicly.
That's what I'm just asking.
Yeah,
It's under
that's a
that.
good question.
To make sure
I
we
tell you
don't
what, Mr. Fowler will check all that out prior to me recommending anything, okay? Any other questions pertaining to the LRA?
Nothing else, so we'll move on. Next is amendments to contribution list. Mr. Gerald, I'll turn it back over to
Okay.
you.
The contribution list is also your last thing in your manual. And the items in yellow is what you approved for FY '26. And as we was doing the budget, and I met with Crime Stoppers, their annual contribution was 20,000. But we was the only one, to my knowledge, that was contributing to the Crime Stoppers. In other words, getting tips and those types of things. So if you remember, I also mentioned that I went to Sheriff Pretty, and Sheriff Pretty said that, yes, they should be paying part of this too. So they actually contributed half, 10,000 to the Crime Stoppers. And that was after we had to pass this. So I'm just asking for an amendment to reduce their contribution to $10,000. And I'll present that at the next council meeting. And just wanted to forewarn you, that's exactly what it is. In other words, their contribution was 10, and I went to Sheriff Pretty and asked him if he got any tips and so forth, and he said yes, and he was more than happy contributing half the contribution. So I want to reduce theirs from 20 to 10, and I'll put that on the next council meeting for your approval. Okay? Just for your information.
Thank you.
Anybody got any questions? I'll give you time.
Gone quicker than anybody expected.
Yeah,
See if I know any good jokes.
not that I can tell.
I have some good ones now, but I'm not gonna
We
tell
adjourn?
I don't know no
So
jokes.
we do
Yeah,
have,
there's no questions on it?
I do have.
Okay,
All
yes,
right,
ma'am.
Janine.
Okay, I just want to make sure, yeah, 50,000, wait a minute, hold on. Where am I at? For the, Humane Society.
Those are all been approved, so those are in the
Okay, Raleigh
FY
County
'26
Commission, that's what I
budget.
was looking at. So we do fund, the salary for one dog, you got one dog catcher annually?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And the county does the same.
Okay.
In other words, our agreements with the county, if they provide one, we provide one.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Does the county also contribute 125,000 to the convention center?
Yes.
Same amount?
I wonder if they're hiring.
Board of Education?
It's Board of Education also.
Right.
Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Gerald on the list?
Let me see, let me just.
Take your time. There's a lot on there.
We're going to do till 5:30 is what I wanna know.
Open mic.
I think that's it for me.
Open mic.
Is that all?
Janine's still.
Oh,
No,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
good. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay, I'm sorry.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, if there's no further questions, may I have a motion to adjourn? May I have a second?